when you start going, you start moving, it's almost like this momentum, right? It's a
Yeah.
snowball. You start going, and once you start going, um, you get to open your eyes and your mind to see what's possible for you.
Hey, Davy, how you doing, man?
Doing great. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. It's been a pretty busy week, but a good one. I got my first funding connection done this week, so it's nice to see some money in the bank for the first time ever.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, what's going on your side of the world, man?
Yeah, I mean, I've been busy with a lot of, I guess, conversations with some people in the Sub two community, especially with like building a team. And so, actually had a great conversation right before this as well. So, like, it was learning each other's, I guess, kind of goals and what we were looking for as far
Mm.
as like our team and our vision stuff like that. So it's been fun.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, for anybody who's listening today, Davey and I are both sub two students at Pace Morby, and we happen to both join this new training that's going on inside the community and our battle buddies. So, that's what prompted this call originally. So, if you hear us talking about sub two, that's what it is. Uh, so, Davey, maybe to just get this started, we'd love to know a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Yeah. So I am, I guess, a child of the immigrant. So like I grew up in a refugee camp. My parents and family escaped the Communist Party in Cambodia, and so we um, transitioned away from the country and what was going on there. And I was actually born in the camp there, trying to get to America. And so now we're here. Kind of spent all my life in Orange County. Kind of grew up there in California. And right now, I am working as an engineer, a mechanical engineer. So I work as a new products manager. I work in a new product development team. And so I help bring in new products and ideas and businesses and strategies as to the company. And so I help. Uh, well, I talk to the sales and marketing team in the company, and we come up with the strategy for new products and new services for my product line, and I help manage the whole process from idea to pretty much the obsolescence phase. So from cradle to grave, I pretty much manage the entire uh, development process. That's what I do.
Gotcha. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I'm married. I have four kids between the age of 10 and 3 years old. So, um, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm right at the beginning phase of my journey there. I've got a little 3-year-old going on 4, and it's definitely a blast. He's full of energy in life. I wish I could siphon some of that for myself.
It's a fun journey. Yeah, yeah, it is fun. So it's a lot of
Yeah,
work, but it's very um it's a blessed life. I could say that. So,
yeah, definitely. So Davey, you said that your W-2 is on, like, hardware stuff, right? And that doesn't seem compatible at all with real estate. So, the
yeah.
question I think that the people who are watching may have is, how in the world did you get started in real estate? Like, what prompted you to start taking those steps?
So I actually got involved in real estate by just helping my parents. My parents have multi-family property in California, and so trying to help with them in that aspect. And so I finally got into real estate myself. Purchased a property in Riverside County. Uh, it was a duplex, and then we turned it into a triplex. And so it was
Awesome.
cash flowing just okay. I know in California, uh, it's not easy to cash flow in California just because the home price is so high. And so I was able to add some value into the property, made it into a triplex, and got really good cash flow after that. So, so
Awesome.
that's
Do you
how I
still
get
have that
started.
today?
No, actually, I sold it, and so we sold it just because I want to say because of the landlord tenant laws. And so we had a lot of challenges dealing with the tenants here in California. And so we sold that property and 1031 that property into some properties in Georgia. And so now we have properties in Georgia as long-term rentals.
Gotcha. So what made you wanna stick around after you had those tenant problems for the original triplex?
So, I mean, real estate, it's a vehicle for investing, right?
Mhm,
So that's the reason why I got into it. I mean, that's how I got started and
mhm,
got intrigued about it. Um, I'm I'm always been a numbers guy, even from my W-2 job, because I work with the marketing team and bringing in businesses and products and pretty much setting up profits for the company. And so
mm,
when we come up with ideas for products, we have to make sure it's a strategy for the business so that we can generate income and revenue, right?
mm.
So, um, always, so I'm always looking at the return of investment for different types of strategy that we go into. And so just looking at my own investments, uh, I dabbled with my 401k and stocks and stuff like that. And then decided, to go in real estate because it's more tangible. There's appreciation, there's tax benefits as well. And
Mm.
so, getting into real estate, it actually became more fun. Acquiring several properties, um, adding value to these properties, like I was saying, just adding another unit so I can generate more revenue. And then just figuring out different strategies as far as the different types of because I have different types of properties too. I did some BRRRR strategy as well when I bought the property, which is buy, rehab, rent, and repeat. And so we also have a short term rental. So we have a different types of properties that we have in the real estate industry, and so it's been fun just figuring out the different strategies that's out there. So
Gotcha. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'd love to maybe circle back to that in a little bit and hear about your experience doing some of that because you mentioned that you're doing these in Georgia and you're in California. So I mean that's a distance,
yeah,
man, to
yeah, it
be
is
able
a
to
distance.
manage that. So
Yes.
I'm sure somebody would love to hear about your experience around managing something like that, getting it started, and then getting it going and keeping it going, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
we'll circle back to that in just a little bit if you don't
Okay.
mind. Um, you know, one one question that I have here for you is, also in addition to real estate, how did you get your intro to sub two? Because you mentioned Burr, right?
Mhm.
That and what comes to my mind is bigger pockets when I hear Burr, just because like my background,
Ran into it, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so, like, what got you into sub 2 of all communities? And, maybe you could tell us a little bit about, like, what you like about sub 2 even that maybe wasn't, um, originally available in, say, like, a Bigger Pockets community or maybe some other communities that you saw?
Okay, yeah. So I started purchasing these properties 2015 is when got started. So it's been a while. Um, and then there's only a certain amount of properties you can get conventionally. There's a limit. And
Mhm,
so we reached the limit. So we had to figure out different ways to purchase properties, right? So either go through some type of funding commercially or going all cash. And so we had to figure out a way to purchase properties in a way that, um, because we just couldn't get them conventionally anymore. And so um, we got started. My wife and I, we were looking because we're partners together. We're looking at properties together and looking at different strategies together. And so we were looking at different types of internships, really.
mm,
So I won't name every single one, so we were looking at several different ones. And the one that really caught our eye was sub two by Pace Morby. And the reason why we actually look more into Pace Morby because of the creative financing aspect of it, right? So not being able to use your own credit, use your own the bank, you can even put like a little money down to purchase these properties as well. So different,
Mm,
like him being able to explain the different strategies for us to buy more properties and not doing it the conventional way
mm,
really intrigued us. And so we continue to follow him, listen to his videos, and just the different resources that that we looked at and listened to before we jumped in. And so that kind of pulled us into it because of the creative uh, strategies that he was explaining to us. So yeah, yeah. So that was it.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, and, maybe another question I have is just to follow that up. Are you enjoying your time in the Substitute community now? Are you still finding value? Like, when did you join? And since then, what are maybe some things that you've really, taken home as lessons?
Yeah. So I joined March, um, like at the beginning of March. It's August now, so a few months.
Mm,
And joining the mentorship, I thought it was just a mentorship, right?
mm,
So uh, joining the program, I had my own expectations, right? I had my own expectations of pace being there, teaching everybody, different, um, I guess, levels of strategies, learning all the modules, getting all the documentations, the paperwork, the
mm,
processes, the strategies, and all that. But jumping in, it was so much more than what I'd expected. And so it wasn't just creative financing, it was tons of tons of resources, not just um, s strategies that I learned, but also, the people's there. The people there to
mm,
help you out. There's tons of leaders. The group right now is so large, you know, and then Pace gives so much of his time that, that he needs all the leaders there to actually help him out, because
mhm,
there's tons of Zooms, tons of training. Um, there's group trainings, there's one on one. You have access to all the leaders, and all the tools that you need. And so it was tons of information where I was just learning so much. And with real estate, there's so many things you can learn and make money from. And so uh, there's when you jump in, everyone is just succeeding. Everyone's succeeding, and then there's people doing well in this part of the industry, and there's whether that's wholesaling or like lending or short term rentals, mid term rental, um, even coaching. So it's all these type of strategies, and that you get so overwhelmed with things, and so overwhelmed with everything. So it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. There's so much great stuff, it's
yeah,
not bad. It's like, oh man, like I could do well here or here or here. And so what they teach us is that, hey, just focus on something, find
mm,
something and then focus on it. And also like work on uh I guess they help you to identify like what you're good at, right? And so in the
mm,
subject community, they call it an avatar, right? So
yeah,
like
yeah, the
what's
avatar.
yeah, so what your strengths are, but not just that, like what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what kind of skills that work um, like for that type of I guess strategy or
Yeah,
I don't know how you can say it, but yeah, so like when I was doing real estate before, everything was on my own, right? So like
yeah,
I was finding the properties, I was doing all the research for even locating where to to invest in, right? So I invested in Riverside, which is close to me, but then after that, I did tons of research to find out where to invest next.
mhm,
And also learning how to, make offers, learning how to talk to agents, learning how to underwrite, what's a good deal and what's not a good deal, learning all the paperwork. And so, and an exit strategy on top of that, finding the property manager and the contractors and everything. So I was doing pretty much everything.
Mm.
And then just jumping into the community now, we all call it the community now, right? So to community, um, you get to you get to focus on something, and you don't have to do everything. You could if
Yeah.
you want to, but you don't have to. You can join a team, or you can partner up with somebody, or you can, just focus on one small business that you can help work with other people and provide that service to other teams or other businesses, right? So there's so many different ways to get to succeed in the business, and that's something like I didn't really understand or knew about until I jumped in. And there's like so many different avenues that we can get into, and so that was one of the things that kind of opened my mind and my eyes to see what's possible. So it was yeah, eye opener for sure, mind blowing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
And there's a common phrase that goes around in the sub two community, which is let's do business together. Right. And that idea essentially that we can be competing with each other, and that's totally fine, but we can also do business together. Like, there's
right,
room in the market for everyone. Everybody can make money together. And when you have that collaboration type mindset, and a giver type mindset, Pace talks about go giving, right?
right.
Um, Having that mentality changes the game for everybody.
Oh yeah,
It's like a rising tide that lifts all the ships. It's not, okay, what can I get out of it just for me? And, there's only so much pie, and I'm going to take it all. Right. So yeah, that's a common thing that we tend to see in the sub two community. I think that's a really good call out because that's one thing that really stood out to me when I joined. Originally, I joined and I was thinking, oh, well, I'm going to learn about all this creative finance stuff and do all this business. And I am, but the big the big selling point, if I had to go back and tell myself in the past what the real big selling point is, it's the community.
right,
Because I get to
right.
meet people like you, Davey, and all the other folks that we're meeting and doing business with together.
Right, right. Exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Davey, there's one thing you said there along the way. You said the word avatar, and so one question I have is, what's your avatar? Like, what do you identify as inside the sub two community?
It's kinda weird because when you jump in, like, everybody wants to be the visionary, right? And you jump in, it's like, "Hey, I'm a" like, because I already have my own business, right? Real estate
Mm,
business, and so jumping in is like, "Okay, I'm a visionary just because I have a
mm,
business going with my real estate." But then the more I learned, uh, the more, um, kinda I understand myself in the place of uh, I guess, with the whole process of a real estate business,
mm.
understand more about like kind of my place and what I'm good at, what my strengths are. And so uh, right now I am a buyer just because I'm looking to buy a lot more properties. And I like to be connecting with other people as well. So um, I am part of the accountability group, OCJV, in Orange County, California, where we help connect people and network and help other people identify themselves and help
Mm.
them find what their needs are within their own strategy and their own journey. And so I'm a buyer and connector. I also do underwriting. So I'm gonna get certified by the top tier underwriting program pretty soon,
Oh, that's awesome,
as
man.
as well as the transaction coordinating program as well by Molly as well. So
Dude, you're gonna
um,
have killer skill set. That's incredible. Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, I'm a numbers guy. So, I'm a numbers guy just because of my skills from W2 translating to real estate.
Mm,
Uh, so from my W2, a lot of the skills from my W2 was a lot of analyzing the market and analyzing a lot of the numbers because in my role, I have to bring a some type of strategy or product into our business or into the company, and it has to have some type of return, right? So some type of rate of return for the investment that we're going to put in. So um, if the return is not big enough, you know, for the resources that is required, then we're not going to jump into that type of business or strategy, right? And so
Mm,
translating that into real estate, it's kind of the same thing. Like I underwrite the the I guess the properties that we're going to invest in. And so a
mm,
lot of the numbers that I look at is the all the expenses and all the income that could generate from that property. And so I'm constantly doing that. When I was doing that with the properties that I had before sub two, and now I get questions all the time from the OCJV group and other people about, hey, is this a good deal or not? It's like, yeah, okay,
mm.
let's look at it. And so, and you know, underwriting is what we do, and that's how you know if it's a deal or not. So you look at, the property, look at what the value is, and then calculate all of the expenses and the cost and the fees, and then also project what the income would be, right? And so, and that's how you can get your return or cash on cash calculation or return on investment calculation to know if it's a good deal or not. So it really depends on, I guess, the person who's buying the property. If it's just me, I'll underwrite it for my portfolio, my strategy. But if it's somebody who's just looking for a short-term rental, then that's different type of underwriting. Or if they're looking for something that's just a fix and flip or even a wholesale deal, it's a different type of underwriting. So the number's going to be a little bit different, but yeah, that's something that I can help people with, especially people who are just starting and don't know how to underwrite. So yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, so
That's awesome.
connector, underwriter, TC is what I do, and it really translate from my W-2. And my W-2 again, it's a lot of project management, and that's just like TC work. It's like
Mm.
getting from point A to point B, closing a deal to the finish line, making sure all the ducks are in a row, all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, and the communication with the different parties and timeline, getting stuff done at a certain time, closed at a certain time. So I'm really good at that. So my skills just translate pretty pretty well
That's
into
awesome.
real estate. Yeah.
At the end here, we're gonna have to plug in your information, in the description of the video, so that way folks can start to reach out to you if they ever need your services. Hopefully, we get a influx of people who could use somebody like you. I know personally, even on the more like lending side, we still need underwriters for stuff like that, and it's
Right.
really important that we're not just like giving people's money away to random people, on random projects. Like it's really, really important to make sure everything looks right numbers wise. So, man,
Exactly.
I might be looking to do business with you
Yeah. No
in the
problem.
lending side here pretty soon.
Yep. Yeah. Reach out.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Davey, I told you I wanted to circle back to this.
Okay.
Man, I would love for the listeners to hear a little bit about your experience around doing this management from a distance, because this seems like a really challenging problem. And somehow you figured it out. You got started on your own, and then you just made it happen, man. So could you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what are some of the things that you maybe have learned along the way and some of the challenges that you've had to overcome?
Yeah. So I'll touch on a little bit just because there's a lot to talk about it. Maybe it could be
Yeah.
on another podcast. But the reason why we looked out of state and is because the strategy that I was looking for, and that was pretty much just positive cash flow and holding properties long term, right? So long term rentals. And when we had the Riverside properties, uh, the landlord tenant laws are very towards the tenant, more friendly towards the tenant. And so when we had the properties in Riverside, the tenants would just withhold the rent for whatever reason. And they knew the laws. They knew the laws. And so they knew how to manipulate the laws so that
Mm,
if they could withhold the rent or be late for the rent and I couldn't charge a late fee and all that. So I got to a point where no, this is not really good for our portfolio, and I didn't want to handle the stress, and so I did a lot of research. Also, look at following bigger pockets and seeing what they're doing as well. And I also had a friend that was doing out of state investing, and so I talked to them as well and what they were doing because they were doing the same thing. They have they lived in California and they had properties in South Carolina, and so kind of picked their brain. And so what I did was there's different types of criteria that I look at when I was choosing the location, right? So one of it is the landlord tenant laws, right? So there's
Mm,
only a few states that is more friendly towards the landlords, right? And that's just, you know, being able to, uh, I guess, evict somebody who's not paying, or just the different types of law that's more friendly towards the landlords, right? So you're not losing a lot when you hold these properties, right? So that's one of the things, and also cash flow. Cash flow is a big thing as well. We want to make the cash flow that we were able to gain at a monthly basis when we hold them as a long term. Because I know that some areas like California, where we're at, we kind of get the cash flow. If you were to purchase a property, the value is so high and your mortgage and expenses are so high that when you start renting them out, you actually are paying into it. You're not getting
mm,
positive cash flow. You're actually losing money. You may gain appreciation over time, but the monthly cash flow won't be there because the rent is lower than all the expenses, right? So that was one thing as well. But also we looked at several different criterias. Once we locked those two down, it's population growth and job growth, and also like the big companies are in the area. So there's different criterias, and um, those were kind of the numbers that we looked at to figure out where we want to look at. And so now I figured out the place where we invest in, and that is Augusta, Georgia. Augusta, Georgia, when we started investing, was I found out that there's a military base, an army base that had programs of cybersecurity. And so this is when cybersecurity is kind of like getting started with all the network issues and stuff like that, and network defenses. And so I looked in that. I knew that was a growing sector in the world, and so that's where I looked at. And I knew all the jobs is kind of going to go that way. The numbers were looking great. Crime was low over there, and job growth was high. And so we just hunkered down and just started buying properties there. So that's where we're at. We just bought properties there as well.
gotcha. That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of information there that we could probably cover in another podcast some other time. I really am interested in digging down into like, okay, how did you go and find your property manager? You know,
Mhm.
because that's a big deal. How do
Oh
you
yeah,
find like the folks to help like manage, just do the nitty gritty stuff day to day? You know,
yes.
how do you find people to help um what am I lost for words? How do you find the acquisitions? Like, how do you do acquisitions, right?
Oh
All
yeah,
that kind of stuff. So, like, I'd be curious to into that more, but maybe we'll just do that another time since
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a lot there.
Yep, yep. I'm glad to talk about those, and I know that there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot for me to share as well, as far as like how we find properties, how do we find a property manager,
Mm,
getting the right agents to look at the different types of properties that we're looking for. So there's
mm,
there's there's different aspects that we look at, and I've gone through the ringer, had several agents, had several property managers, and so there's criteria that you want to look at, and so I can help explain what to look for, and help to vet different types of people in that because you do need to build a team
mm.
when you are investing out of state.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally makes sense. So we'll follow up on that sometime, Dave.
Yeah.
Um, so we're getting to the end here. I had a few more questions just to kind of wrap things up. So as we're closing, you know, I'm sure there are some folks that are newer to investing in real estate, and they would like to know where to get started. So, you know, based on the the experience that you have, the things that you've learned, what would you recommend to somebody who's brand new to investing?
For somebody who's brand new, um, I would say I would have them think about like what their goals are.
Mm,
But not just their goals, but also what availability that they have. You know, a lot of people who have a W-2 don't have a lot of time. They may have the money or they may have the time to learn the skills or learn to build a team. And so it really depends on where you're at and what you're able to do, right? So if you don't have a lot of time, maybe you can, lend money or even like build a business or build a team to invest in or do what I did where we're using conventional type of loans and we just build it going out of state or even within your area to invest in and then build a team from there. And so that's more of like a semi passive, not totally passive because you really need to build that team. But also, if you do have a lot of time and you don't have a lot of money or skill, you can learn a skill. You can join sub two where you can find a different resources, find the people to coach you, where you can get started. Um, if you if you have a lot of time, there's a bunch of teams out there. You know, I'm part of a team, and you don't have a lot of skills. You know, we can help you. We can help you build the skills. We can help you get you to these deals, whether it's like wholesaling deals or finding deals through acquisition. In some ways, joining a team that does, fix and flips or something like that. So it really depends on what's available to you and what your goals are. And so the conversation would be, okay, yeah, what do you want to do? What
mm,
are you good at? What do you have? Do you have time? Do you have money? Do you have the skills? And um, yeah. And so it's because a lot of times it's a lot of people always say they don't have a lot of something or they're really need of something. And so coaching is really helpful. Talking to somebody who's in it, who's done kind of a little bit of everything. Like myself, I can help kind of guide you through that process
mm,
to help you understand what you're great at, what you have as far as time and resources, and also your goals. Because I know when I started investing in real estate, my mindset is really small, and my goal is actually my bar was really low. So the more you get into it, the more you're comfortable and confident in your investment and your business, you you want to push that bar higher and
yeah,
higher. So for what you think is attainable or uh that's more of a you think it's so far fetched that that's the end goal. When you start going, you start moving, it's almost like this momentum, right? It's a
yeah.
snowball. You start going, and once you start going, um, you get to open your eyes and your mind to see what's possible for you. So it
Yeah,
could
I
seem
like
like
the snowball
like yeah,
analogy a lot
right,
because, like, you build skills over time, and the thing is, I would say that you're never done learning, right? There's always gonna be something else that you can learn better, you can become more efficient in, and, maybe even change roles in, as time goes on, right?
right,
So I love
right.
that analogy, snowball.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
that's good.
good. All right, Davey. So I got one last fun question for you
Okay.
that I told you was coming up, but I didn't tell you what it was.
Okay.
So, so this is practical too. So let's say that you were looking to grow your team, right? And you had everything you needed. You just needed to grow your team. What kind of role and person would you want to be the next one that you added to your team?
Wow. So the next person in my team. So my so one of the things that's kind of happening in my phase of life is that you get to a point where you are overgrowing your network,
Mm,
right? And so like I've gotten to a phase where I'm moving so fast and learning so much and growing so much mentally, and then knowing what's out there, what's possible for me, that the more you have, the more you want to give away, right? So
Mm,
I'm learning so much from the septic community and with the friends that I'm building within the community, like yourself. And it's opening my eyes to see what's possible.
mm,
And so the more I see what's possible for me and my family, uh, and when I'm sharing that, a lot of the people in my previous or my current network don't have the same mindset, right? And so a lot of my friends are still watching sports, right? Are still having like these hobbies and still playing around and just just going to work and just checking out on Friday night, and so for me, I'm checking in after my W-2 and doing my real estate and learning and building my mental um, um, capacity. And so learning what's out there, learning what's possible, learning that there is an abundance of uh, possibilities out there. And so for me, I want to be able to be in the same room with people with the same mentality and the same big dreams and the same big
mm,
vision so that they can help build me up, when I am struggling or when I'm um, having these roadblocks in my journey. And so they continue to encourage me. They continue to push together. So it's not somebody that's kind of in my team, but like kind of a partner with me.
mm,
We're working together. We're striving for a goal, and that goal is limitless. And because I'm not going to stop at $20, I'm not stopping at $40 or $100. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pushing the bar and give, or continue to learn and be able to give back. And so
mm,
the more I have, the more I give back. So because a lot of people who don't give, it's because they have a scarcity mindset, right? So because everything is
mm,
scarce, and so they tend to hold it more tightly. And so I want to be at a place where everything is abundant. My mindset is abundant, but also my time and my resources are abundant. So I want to get to a place where I continue to give, whether it's my story, my testimony, all the stuff that I'm learning, all the secrets that I will learn and I have learned, want to give it all away. And I just want to build this community, this network of friends where we could just continue to strive together, not just on our own journey, but also everyone's journey. I want to be able to be there to see all my friends succeed as well, wherever they're at. So whether you're just starting or you've been there for so long, I want to be in that journey. I want to support you, but I also want to be supportive myself when I go through those tough times as well. So
love it, man. That's a go-getter
thank
mentality right there, if I've
you.
ever
Yeah.
heard one. That's good, man. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Davey, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and it's just a real pleasure to get to chat with you and learn more about you. Again follow up sometime about the remote property management.
Oh yeah.
But in the meantime, if somebody is looking to connect with you and do business with you, where can they find out more information?
Yeah, you can connect with me on my Instagram at davy.does. Or you can go on my YouTube, which I'm starting right now. I got a few videos, very similar to what we're talking about right now. So I'm gonna put a lot more content for people to understand what the different strategies of real estate, how to get started. So a lot of um, the different strategies for the people who's just getting started, but also look at also mindset because a lot of it is just mindset as well. A lot of people don't think that it's achievable. It's people think it's a big mountain to
Mm.
climb over just to get started, but it's not. So I want to help people in that aspect to get them started, to know what's possible. So my YouTube channel would be, YouTube and my name, Davy Nget. You can
Okay.
find me there as well.
Awesome, man. Well, for those interested, I'm going to include those details down in the description below. So please definitely check it out, and let's see how we can all do business together.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Thanks again, Davey. It was good chatting with you, man. Have a good one.
Take care.